There are 3 small things you can do every day to make your relationship work. Every relationship is different, but when experts who have studied relationships for more than 20 years share their tips, you are likely to learn something useful. So it is with psychologists John Gottman, PhD, and Julie Gottman, PhD, who wrote The Love Prescription and started the Gottman Institute. The husband and wife team can tell if a couple will stay together by watching how they act for 15 minutes. In this new video, they share their tried and true tips for making love last. This video shows you 3 things you can do every day to make your relationship stronger over time. Small changes can sometimes make the biggest difference. 1. Make a U-turn. What do you say when your partner talks to you? Do you ignore them, turn away, or talk to them, turn toward? The Gottmans wanted to figure out what these patterns were. They set up an apartment lab where couples could stay for 24 hours and be studied. John says, "One of the most important things we learned in our apartment lab was that people are always trying to make connections. They try to talk, touch, and show affection quite often, and the partner's response is so important. They found that people who got divorced 7 years after getting married only responded to their partner's attempts to connect 33% of the time. Those bids were accepted 86% of the time by couples who were still married 6 years ago. So these little things are very, very important," John adds. You mid bluebird, what do an offer to connect look like? Well, it could be as simple as, "Look at that bluebird out there, honey." Could it be a blue jay? If you completely ignore what they say, that's turning away. If you show interest in what they say, that's turning toward. And that changes everything about how close they are as friends, how passionate and romantic they are, and how much they fight, says Julie. Bids for connection can be small or big, but it's important to keep fulfilling the small ones just as much as the big ones. 2. Give compliments. Compliments shouldn't stop when you're dating. Many people might think that if you're in a secure, loving relationship, you don't need your partner to reassure you anymore, but Julie says that couldn't be further from the truth. We still need a little bit of reassurance that we're lovable, worthy, and enough for our partners. I've never met someone who didn't want or need compliments anymore. She talks about a study in which researchers spent an evening with couples in their homes and counted how many good things happened between them. What were they? Couples who were unhappy in their marriages were wrong by 50% about how many good things were happening. John says, when you say thank you or compliment your partner, you build a culture of appreciation in the relationship that makes it easier to deal with the stresses of everyday life. It's just really strong. 3. Touch the body. The Gottmans say that touch is important for healthy relationships, even if touch isn't your love language. Touch is an important part of connecting with other people. This doesn't mean you have to make a big move every time you are out in public, but it does mean that you should touch them. Julie says that touch is just as important to our health as food, water, and exercise. Think about it, people are social creatures who need each other to live. It's why being very lonely is linked to a higher chance of dying too. And touch is a part of that connection that we need to live, adds Julie. John talks about the famous study by psychologist Harry Harlow, PhD, in which researchers gave baby monkeys a wire mother that fed them milk and a cloth mother that gave them physical comfort in their cage. When those little monkeys got scared, they ran right to that cloth mother. John says, so, all mammals have a basic need to connect, and touch is a part of that. Again, the touch doesn't even have to be sexual or close. It can be as simple as a touch on the arm or shoulder or as big as holding hands, says Julie. Touch makes a huge difference in relationships. The main point: you don't have to do big romantic things to get and keep someone's love. The Gottmans say that small habits that people do every day tend to have bigger effects on the relationship over time. All of these tips take less than 5 seconds to do: an interesting answer, a sincere compliment, a touch on the shoulder. But they can make a big difference in your relationship.